What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, a lot of talks have been going around lately on my Twitter and other social media about, Kawhi Leonard and PG. It's been speculated that, they'll definitely return here soon. And they should return to full health, very soon to play for the Clippers to give them an opportunity to win. Now, it's almost like a dividing from what I see. There are some people, some fans out there who are basically saying that, let the Clippers play the star players, which is Kawhi and PG, return next season and not play this season, not risk it, not risking it for them going out there, in a play-in tournament where they can, either re-aggravate their injuries, make it worse, and just, try to, save them for the long haul, save them for, the long term. And I definitely see the point in that because, you don't want to re-aggravate an injury. You don't want to bring a player back too soon because it can ruin your future for the long haul because you signed these guys to big contracts for at least 2 more seasons, 1 or 2 more seasons you'll get out of them. And you want them to be healthy enough to make that run to win that championship instead of trying to risk it this year and putting it all out there on the line, for them to go out there and they're not even in a playoff spot. They actually got to make it through the play-in tournament first before they even get into the playoffs. And that's if they get that far. Now, Paul George, has a chance to come back a little bit sooner than Kawhi Leonard from what the reports have said. So if Paul George is able to come back before the play-in or something like that, or if Kawhi could too, that would be great. Give them at least a few games before they go into the play-in, kind of gain some type of rhythm because it's going to be tough in the play-in term because everybody's, win or go home. That's the mentality when the play-in playoffs start, that's just how it is. I mean, the mentality changes. So I definitely understand some, NBA fans saying that, let them sit out this year and, go into next year because they'll be a much scarier team. They'll be more healthier. They'll be ready to go. They can just start they can start fresh at the beginning of the season and run their way all the way through to the playoffs going into next season and see what happens. I definitely understand that because, like I said, you don't want to re-aggravate no injuries. You don't want to bring a player back too soon. And your team is definitely in the play-in tournament and, definitely got to try to find their ways out of that, just to get into the actual playoffs. So I definitely get that, and I definitely get the long term. And I, even if, and if you look at it from that standpoint, I mean, hypothetically, if you want to be hypothetical, it's a hypothetical chance that the Clippers don't make it out of the play-in tournament and don't technically make it to the playoffs if they don't have Kawhi or PG because they'd have to face, I think, I'm trying to think. They would have to play the Timberwolves, I believe, as their first round in the play-in. And then if the Lakers make it, they'd have to play against the Pelicans. Or if the Lakers don't make it, it'll probably be the Spurs to play against the Pelicans since the Spurs got the tiebreaker over the Lakers. And the Lakers just happened to lose to the Pelicans as of yesterday. So, I mean, either way, you got to beat 1 or 2 teams in the play-in just to get to the playoffs. And, it's no guarantee the Clippers could make it that far because, I mean, anybody could lose at any time, especially if it's one game. So, I mean, hopefully the Clippers would win, but, I mean, it might be a possibility where they don't actually make the playoffs because they might not make it out the play-in. So, it's a lot of scenarios that goes into the situation, and I understand that. I really do. But, I look at it like this, if they're healthy enough to play, if they're cleared to play, and if they want to go out there and give it a go, then let them go. Because, like I said, championships don't come by. They don't fall off trees. Don't come by every year. Every team doesn't have an opportunity to win a championship. The last 3 years, the Clippers have been in contention to win a championship every single season, so or at least the last 3 seasons, with Kawhi being there, and you don't want to push your chance away when your opportunity is here now. So me personally, I would have both of them come out there now if they're ready to go and play and give it a try and see, because like I said, next year is no guarantee. You never know what happens in the off season. I mean, if you've been following NBA most of your life, all your life, or whatever you want to call it, or some, doesn't even matter, some of your life, or however long you've been looking at it, trades happen in the off season, and teams change by trajectory based upon what the front office feels like they need, which is the reason why, if a team loses in the play-in tournament or playoffs, the front office looks at, certain players that they can, trade to get what they need to make them better for the playoffs the next season. So it's no guarantee, a lot of the players or some of the same players will be there. It's no guarantee any of that, and then, Kawhi and PG come back next season. Everything looks good. Hopefully neither one of them gets injured. Hopefully they can make it through the whole season. That'll be a whole nother several months. Kawhi Leonard has played, so his rhythm will be completely off. So for the first few weeks or first month into the season, Kawhi probably wouldn't be who he's supposed to be. But then again, he might, because, he is Kawhi Leonard. And, but when you're coming off ACL injuries like that, a lot of times it just disrupts your rhythm so much, only because you've been out of basketball so long. And it's just hard to come back and dominate that easily. It just is, So I understand if he wouldn't be able to, but at the same time, you can come into next season, have everybody there. But like I said, another injury can occur. Another injury can happen. It could be, one of your main stars again. You never know what can happen. So to me, I kind of look at it like, if you have an opportunity to go for a championship now, I would go for it. But I definitely understand the reason why some fans look at it like, bring both of them players back next year when they're fully ready to go. Don't try to put them out there in playoff atmosphere basketball when they don't even have any rhythm, and they really probably going to disrupt the rhythm, the little bit of rhythm that the Clippers do have, and it's going to not bowl well for them. But in my estimation, to rebuttal that, I would say, right now the Clippers' rhythm doesn't look that great. I mean, they've lost their last 5 games, I believe. They really don't look like the same team they did about a month ago. They look kind of like they really need their superstars back. They look like they're giving out of gas, because at some point, like as I said before, role players can do a lot of good things, but they can't do the great things like the great ones can do. The great ones can put a team on their back. They can carry them far. They can do, they can score big. They can do it consistently. They can do a lot of great things on, some great players can do really great things on defense. So it's like it's so much that goes into it. Whereas, like, to me, you got to go for it while it's here. You got to strike while the iron's hot. You can't try to just wait. Let this season go, punt this season away. We'll just do it next year. We'll do it next year. You know what I'm saying? It almost sounds like, I compare that to the logic of somebody saying they're going back to school, or I'm going to go back to college, or I'm gonna go back to school, and they keep saying it every single year, and then they don't never return to school. It's like they're just saying something that they're not living up to. And I kind of take that logic and put it into this one, because it's like, yeah, you can say next year, all you want, but why not go and try to accomplish it now if you could? And that's the logic the Clippers should have, to me. If, like I said, if your star players are ready to go, let them come back and try to make a run at it, because, next year ain't no guarantee. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. Other teams are going to get better. Other teams are going to make trades. Younger players are getting better. Luka's getting better. Devin Booker looks like he's getting better. The Suns look like they're damn near unbeatable this year, so they might be really unbeatable next year if Chris Paul stays healthy throughout the whole season. And Devin Booker looks like he's just getting better every game. Maybe it must be the Kobe Bryants he's wearing or something like that. I don't know. And then you look at other players around the league, other teams are getting better. Look at the Boston Celtics, you know what I'm saying? Like, they done won like 10, 15 straight. So if they take this in the next year, they'll be a better team. It's like, the Nets will be better. The Sixers will be better. The Heat will be better. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's so much that goes into this, like, season per season. You can't say, oh, they're just going to go out and win the championship next year. It doesn't work like that. I mean, you hope that it would, but it's no guarantee. So you got an opportunity to win now. You might as well take it while you got the chance and just hope that Kawhi Leonard can come back. Like I said, it's been noted that, he might come back, late season after the play-in tournament, which would be good if they can get him back, because first round, it'll be tough playing in the playoff series. I understand that, but, I feel like he's just ready to go. I feel like, PG wants to give it a go. I feel like they just want to do it because they know, nothing's a guarantee. It's not even a guarantee this year that they'll win it, but it's the chances are pretty wide open because there's no big three and every team is pretty evenly distributed for the most part, so, even though the Lakers got a big three, but their big three doesn't count because they're not winning, at least not at the moment. So, it doesn't really count for them. But right now, like I said, it's pretty evenly distributed in the NBA. And who knows, in the offseason, a team might formulate a big three. And that's another thing. You never know. So it's like, you don't want to, waste years if you don't have to. If you can get everybody back healthy, just give it a try and see what happens. Because, like I said, just having those two players on the floor makes their offense so much more dynamic just because they're standing there and just because just them two playing as decoys can make the Clippers so much better because now you have to double Kawhi Leonard, you have to double PG some, and you leaving them other shooters wide open, the Clippers are going to hurt you. So, it's like with them being there, even though they're not in rhythm, it still helps the Clippers a lot. You see what I'm saying? So, and like I said, if you sit Kawhi out the rest of this season and then you wait till the following season, that's another 3-4 months, 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it is that he hasn't played basketball. So it's like, if he comes back now, he'd be more in rhythm now than he would be if he waited 3 or 4 or 4 more months later to play basketball again. So, it all, like I said, you can look at it from a multitude of ways, but really, like I said, this is the season really for the Clippers to win it, if you ask me, because like I said, the West is wide open right now with that James Harden trade to the 76ers. There's no big three. And the Clippers, if they can just find a way to slide in there and, get those two players back, it could change the trajectory of the whole playoffs if those two are healthy. And they're able to give the Clippers, good minutes and things like that and stay healthy. I know it's, like I said, it'd be tough to actually ask them to come into a playoff atmosphere, but they're great players for a reason. Kawhi is one of the best players in the league for a reason. One thing about Kawhi, I will say, his offense could be off, but he's so good defensively, he still can make an impact on a game regardless, just because of his defensive ways. So, he's a valuable asset regardless. However, he's on the floor, he's always valuable. Paul George can definitely, bring some more offense to the Clippers. And once he gets his rhythm, what I'm saying? But, I personally would bring both of them back if they're healthy. That's just me, but I definitely understand anybody thinks any otherwise. But in the ultimate, we'll see what happens. I think that Ty Lue will let them return if they say it's a go, if they're cleared to play and the players say they're good to go. Because there's no need to waste a season away where you still have an opportunity to win if you can get out the play-in tournament and get into the first round and just see what happens. But hey, that's my take on everything. You leave any comments in the comment section as always. And, hey, Khaliis out.